Hello, Mimi's Munchkins. How are you today? Good evening, good evening, good evening to you. And how do you do? Did you have fun today? Did you play hard? Were you good for mom and dad? Did you listen good? Did you brush your teeth? Good job. We have another new book. This one is Snoring Beauty. This is written by Bruce Hale and illustrated by Howard Fine. And I'm wearing a hat today for the book. My cool crown. All right, Snoring Beauty. Long, long ago, about 602 years ago last Friday at 7 p.m., Fairy Standard Time to be exact, the childless king, Glutus, and his wife, Queen Esophagus, got lucky at last. A baby girl, Queen Esophagus cried. I'll eat to that, said King Glutus. For the rest of us, peasants and milkmaids and frogs, it was business as usual. Yada yada, hippity hop. The king and queen threw a big windig for their daughter's christening. They invited every fairy far and wide. But wouldn't you know it, they left one out, this really cranky fairy named Bebo, who was oft hosting a garlic festival. On christening day, the baby girl, whose name was Princess Drachmina Lofresca Malvolio Margarine, poor little tadpole, she smiled and cooed anyway. The dining hall bulged with lords and ladies, and up at the main table with the king and queen sat 7 of the funkiest fairies you'd ever seen. Hexus and Blexus, Nostraline and Umpudine, Phlebidus and Tinnitus, and Fred, who really wasn't a fairy, but no one had the heart to tell him. Just as they began a round of rude fairy songs, the king clapped his hands. Time to bless the baby. Eh? Said Tinnitus, who was half deaf. Slime with flesh and gravy? No thanks. I'll be back in a twinkle. And she waddled off. One by one, fairies shuffled past to bless Princess Drachmina Lofresca Malvolio Margarine, Marge for short. She will be the most beauteous maiden in the land, said Hexus. She will be the wittiest, said Blexus, and on, best dancer, blah, 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 best singer, blah, 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 nicest penmanship, blah, 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 yada, yada, hippity hop, until... Ta-da! Bam! The door blew open. There stood Bebo the fairy. She looked like trouble, and she smelled like garlic. So sorry I'm late, she snarled sweetly. The carrier pigeon must have eaten my invitation. She stuck her big bazoo into the crib and barked. When this baby turns 16, she will be run over by a pie wagon and die. Tinnitus returned just at that moment. Eh, what's that? She said. She'll turn into a dragon and fly? Die, snapped Bebo. Spy? Said Tinnitus. Die, shouted Garlicky One. Oh my, said Tinnitus. With a grumble and growl, Bebo blasted off. Tinnitus turned to King Gluteus and Queen Esophagus. She could not undo Bebo's gift, but she could bamboozle it. My blessing is that, instead of turning into a dead dragon, but Bebo said, the king began, your daughter will become a sleeping dragon, Tinnitus continued, and one day she'll be awakened by, a prince, said the queen hopefully. A quince, said the fairy. Good idea. And poof, she was gone. First thing the next day, King Gluteus banned all pie wagons from the kingdom. In fact, he banned all pies, even mud pies. That should stop the curse, said the king. Let them eat cake, sang Queen Esophagus. Years hopped along like a toad with arthritis. Princess Marge bloomed and grew, and as she grew, she became kind and beautiful, sweet and clever. As the fairies promised, Marge could sing like a nightingale, dance like the sunlight on the water, sew a wedding dress blindfolded, make a chocolate cake from dirt and rocks, build a house in a single day, yada yada hippity hop. The fairies forgot just one thing. She was too perfect. Nobody wanted to play with a girl who could do everything twice as well as they could. Princess Marge was lonely. The day the princess turned 16, an old woman in a wagon rolled up into the castle. Let me in, she pleaded. I bring a yummy, nummy treat for the princess. The young guard spied the wagon load full of pastries round on wheels. A sweet smell made his belly rumble. Yummy, nummy indeed. After so many years, he didn't know a pie from a pollywog. The guard opened the gates. The wagon trundled in. At the very moment, what are all the odds, I ask you? Marge was crossing the road to the cake shop. The street was steep. The wagon wobbled, and before she knew it, the pie wagon swerved and crunched over her foot. Yow! Cried Princess Marge, and just as Tinnitus foretold, alabam! Marge turned into a dragon, and alabam! She fell deeply asleep. Now, legend says that the whole castle conked out too. Yeah, right. Here's what really happened. The sleeping dragon princess began to snore. Squonk, shoo, squonk, shoo. And besides being the fanciest dancer and best cake baker in the kingdom, Princess Marge was naturally the loudest snoring dragon. Squonk, shoo, squonk, shoo. Did everyone rush to congratulate Marge on her perfect snores? They did not. No one comforted her enchanted sleep. The dragon princess dreamed lonely dreams. Days passed. No one could sleep with the racket and the ruckus. Those with carriages visited far-off kingdoms. Those without wore earplugs and shouted. The king did what kings always do. He made a proclamation. King Gluteus wants you to break the curse and awaken sleeping daughter with a quince. Use of a quince to be determined by applicants. Reward: half the kingdom, the princess's hand in marriage, and a set of elf-made garden furniture. Employees of the castle not eligible. If princess awakens but remains a dragon, tough luck, you still have to marry her. Offer not valid in the kingdom of Smorg, Spiffle, or Quog. Valid were prohibited. Men came to test their luck. With brass and bluster and bright ideas, they tried to awaken the dragon princess. One spooned quince curry between her lips. Marge snored on. One tickled her wrists with leaves of a quince tree. Squonk, squonk, shee-haw, shee-haw. Squonk, honk, honk, shee-haw, shee-hoo. Marge snored on. One pelted her with ripe quinces. Close, but no cigar. Marge snored on. Months passed. Suitors came, suitors went. They sang quince songs and banked quince pies and told quince jokes and sighed quince sighs. They built a quince alarm clock and squirted jam and jelly. They made a quince-filled rubber ball to bounce upon her belly. But nothing worked. Yada yada hippity hop. Marge snored on. Then one day, a dusty young man clip-clopped into town. What's that awful noise? He asked a milkmaid. "What?" she shouted. "I cannot hear you. I'm wearing earplugs." She took them out. "I said, what's that noise?" bellowed the man. "No need to shout," said the milkmaid. And she told him Marge's sad, sad story. The man studied the dragon princess. She was pretty cute for a dragon. He timed her snores. Squonk, shoo. He leaned into the blast, ears ringing. Squonk, shoo. The hair blew back, but he puckered up. Squonk, shoo. And then, smack, blink. The dragon's eyes popped open and yada yada, hippity hop. Marge's scales melted, her tail shriveled, and she shrank back into a human girl again. "Are you a wizard?" she asked the man. "Golly, no, I'm a prince," he said. "Prince Quince, to be exact." Well, the king kept his word, and the 2 shakes of a frog's flipper, the prince and princess got hitched. This time, all the fairies in the land were invited. The kingdom whooped in with a hey nanny nanny and a hot cha-cha. "Do you love me?" asked the princess. "With all my heart," said the prince. "Even though I'm not the best at everything?" Prince Quince smiled. "Honey, nobody's perfect." At last, the newlyweds tiptoed off to their chambers, where they whispered sweet nothings and drifted to sleep. Later that night, something awakened the prince. Squonk, shoo, squonk, shoo. Prince Quince sighed. He kissed his wife's cheek, stuffed some earplugs into his ears, and rolled over. And despite the truly royal ruckus, they lived happily and noisily ever after. That was a good book. Is it ready for little Lucas? Check in. He's ready for bed. We will take a look. He's night-night. All right, kids, so it's bedtime. And remember, you're special and unique, and there's nobody in the world like you. Mimi and Michelle loves you. Good night.